Today on Fishing with the Dodger, it's the Bow Girls Show. Mrs. Dodger and fishing buddy Paulette hit the waters of McKinnon Flats looking to land some monster browns.
On the water, we're going to be on fire.
Plus, the head of Alberta Fisheries Management tells us how to read the bugs on a river. And how do they count the fish in a river? Well, we're going to find out.
We have up to 1,500, 2,000 catchable size trout per kilometer of river.
Are you ready? Let's go. Are you ready? Let's go.
It's all a distant memory now. Philippa Gellinis, aka Mrs. Dodger, and her pal Paulette headed out to the park to learn how to fly. But the time for practice is over, and the time for fishing is now. Mrs. Dodger and Paulette are taken to the Bow River a few kilometers downstream of Calgary. They're here to prove their mettle as fly fishers.
On the water, we're going to be on fire.
Paulette is wearing her favorite hockey team's jersey for luck. Trevor Rhodes, one of the head honchos for Alberta Fisheries Management, is joining us as a guide. And Scott McDonald has tacked up the Gone Fishing sign on his office door and is rigging up for a fantastic fly fishing adventure.
Trevor Rhodes is a great guy to have on your fishing boat. He knows these waters because, well, it's his job. As a top gun for the fisheries management area, he leads the team that keeps the fish stock levels healthy in Alberta waters.
Certainly we have challenges in Alberta, and that's just we don't have as much water, fresh water, as a lot of other provinces. We have 800 lakes that have fish in them, and but we've also got a lot of people.
Every year, Trevor leads fish counts to ensure the fish stocks are healthy. Not unlike our census, except the fish have no forms to fill out.
We use a specialized boat that you've seen in past shows called an electrofishing boat. And what that does is allow us to catch the fish alive, and we tag them, and then we'll do a later run, and the ratio of tagged to untagged fish tells us what our population size is.
The electrofishing boat runs a current through a portion of the water. The stunned fish are then scooped up, measured, weighed, tagged, and released. It's an extremely high-tech and effective process.
Oh, he's nice, huh?
Oh yeah, he's big. Right. That's a fat little piggy.
Hold on for a moment.
Big piggy. Big fish. There you go. Come on, bud. There he goes.
You also see just how many fish this stretch of water holds and hides.
So we're only catching maybe 10%, 5-10% of the adult fish in this run.
There's lots of fish and lots of big fish.
We've got the advantage of Calgary that's putting a lot of nutrients into the water, and that really grows big trout. So we have up to 1,500, 2,000 catchable size trout per kilometer of river.
Well, let's let our glamorous fly girls at 'em. Heck, even Sable the dog is all dolled up for the trip.
Water fearing
Is he
dog.
going to put you in the boat the same way, girl?
Yep, I think so.
No.
Next.
Ever wonder how we drive to a river, fish on it all day, and arrive at our final landing point where our vehicles are magically waiting for us? Well, it's handy to have some magician friends like Louise Shawton, who operates a shuttle service for us fly fishers. And Louise knows the need because she's a seasoned fly girl.
Oh, I've been fly fishing the Bow River since 1986. And my husband and I also take trips and fly fish the Costa Rica area.
Louise used to fish conventional bait and hook style until she discovered the joy of fly fishing. And then, well, she was the one who was hooked.
I think it's more on a one-to-one when you're fishing on a rod. And I used to fish conventional tackle until I learned about fly fishing, and then from there on I was sold. Well, you feel every movement of the fish when it's fighting, and you're on a one-to-one with it.
Her other great passion in life is painting. She's been at it for 4 decades.
I paint oils on canvas. I have been for 40 years. I've been also private tutoring and worked in a school and taught grade 5 children.
Been painting for 40 years, right? You started when you were 3,
Yes.
roughly.
Yes.
2.
4.
You started when you were 4. There you go.
Well, regardless of when she started, Louise has been both painting and fly fishing for a while. You have to wonder, is there a connection between the two?
When I go fishing or when I'm painting, I'm in my own world. There's peace and quiet. No telephone calls. Nothing. No interruptions. Just pure concentration.
Well, it's time for everybody to get concentrating because we're taking it to the streets to find out when a fly fisher talks about a hatch, what are they referring to? Here's what you said.
Hatch is like a hatchback, like a Civic.
Well, I could be wrong on this, but I believe a hatch, I could be wrong, but I think it's a large, old wooden ship that might be a fish, but I'm not sure.
Hatch? Isn't that babies hatching? Baby fish hatching?
An egg.
Type of hook?
Type of hook? What do you think a hatch is?
It is a hook.
Hook?
It's a hook.
What do you think a hatch is? Oh, wait a minute. She knows it's something scary. That's for sure.
Is it the bait? Some kind of net.
Oh, wait a minute. This guy was so excited, he wanted a do-over.
Hatch is a fish that gently swims upstream. It likes whitewater rapids, considered to, I don't know, just likes them. Once it gets upstream, it likes to, I can't even do it anymore.
Well, folks, stay tuned because Trevor Rhodes will solve the mystery. Up next on Fishing with the Dodger, hats off to the McKinnon Flats. Literally.
I hope that's not Trev underneath there and that's just his hat.
And how do you read a river to tie your fly? Well, the Dodger has his hot tip of the week coming up. We're back on the Bow River, about an hour's drive east of Calgary. This is an area renowned for great fishing and gorgeous scenery. In fact, Brad Pitt and company shot a number of scenes here for his Jesse James movie. Perhaps it's the aura of Pitt that's got the estrogen flowing on the bow today, because the Bow girls, Mrs. Dodger and Paulette, are getting into some fishy action.
It's still morning and the fishing should be good. Plus the view is great. And never forget, throw a few compliments toward your guide and make sure he gets you to the best fishing holes.
You boys look fantastic, by the way. Such a good angle. Do you have a theme song that you want to hum? Oh, not exactly what I was thinking of, but hey, you know, whatever works for you. Well, it looks like compliments work best because some guides have long memories.
Somebody who knows what they're doing. I'm waiting for the smack upside the back of the head there, Trev. She missed an eyelet. Now, I seem to think it was last time we were out with you girls, I was getting, shall we say, a bit of a challenge from the audience saying, oh, you missed an eyelet. Do we remember that, Paulette?
And just in case she doesn't, we sure do. Here it is.
What I like to do is I like to fold them in half. Bit of a
Right.
tip for you.
Yeah.
Right? You fold it through, and the advantage is you drop the line. It's not going anywhere, right? It'll stop.
Oh yeah. But like, what about that one?
You gotta like these critical rookies, right? Never touched a fly rod in their life before. Now I'm getting lip from the audience.
Well, never mind the guides. Maybe we should try to stay on the good side of the wind gods. Hold on to your hats, everyone.
Whoa, we're going for a ride. I hope that's not Trev underneath there and that's just his hat. That's just too funny. Yay!
Well, don't laugh too hard, Dodger.
Now I've lost my hat, Trev. It's a gong show.
The wind is rising because the day is warming up as we move into the afternoon hours. At around 2 o'clock, we start to see some hatches on the water.
Through the winter, the insects are larval stages actually under the water. And so when we refer to a hatch is when they're actually literally hatching. They're changing from a larva stage into an adult, which is the winged stage. And when we see them on the top of the water and say there's a hatch, they're actually drying their wings.
Trout love hatches. It's really the only time nymphs leave their hiding spots and get out into the open water. So the fish are honing in on the hatch, and we are honing in on the fish.
We lost him. Keep strapping, keep strapping, keep strapping, keep strapping, keep strapping, keep strapping. He's gone. We lost him. Exciting. You did everything fine. It's just it head shook on you. Left, 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 left. It's gone. Did you see your strike indicator just? Yeah, so he hammered you.
Hoo-hoo, they sure move fast, those fish, and pretty wily, too. But us humans are surely smarter than the average wild trout, right? I mean, we have the science of biology on our side. In fact, the ability to read the bugs in a river to determine the quality of the water and the species of fish feeding on the bugs is exactly what's on order for this week's tip.
One of the things you'll always hear fly fishers speak to is match the hatch. As Trevor just explained to us, bugs basically live on the bottom of the rivers and surface to fly away. Our goal is to try and identify what bugs are crawling around so we can get ready with both a nymph and a dry fly. We have a couple of options to determine what is going on there at the bottom of the river. One method is to screen the river by rolling some rocks over and catching whatever floats downstream in the net. The other handy method is flipping rocks and seeing what's crawling around.
Up next on Fishing with the Dodger, we're fishing until the cows come home. And we tie into that trout favorite, the mayfly. Welcome back to Fishing with the Dodger. It's a beautiful day in McKinnon Flats, Alberta. Our bow girls, Mrs. Dodger and her friend Paulette, are getting some major hits in this trout-infested water. Pull out your rods, folks. It's time for some serious fishing.
In 95 and again in 05, the Bow River reshaped itself due to some heavy flooding. Now, as fishers, we have to learn where the fish are hiding.
So Trev, before the river reshaped itself last year, this hole coming up here on this back channel around that island, big piggies hiding in there.
The fish in these waters are plentiful, and because the river is full of nutrients, the trout grow to very large sizes. As you can see, when the Dodger releases this trout, he hangs around for a while, but virtually disappears into his natural environment. So the fish are out there, but it doesn't mean they're easy to spot, especially when the river has gone through so much change.
We pull up for lunch along a bank that still harbors flood residue. Displaced fences, trailers, and giant tree trunks remind us of the power of the Bow River. But we're also witnessing how Mother Nature can bounce back and give us a beautiful day like today. Even a local herd of cows take a breather in this spot.
We lost Trevor's hat. Once it goes through, it's going to come motoring.
Hats are always a source of entertainment when fishing with the Dodger.
So Phil, what's with the cheesy hat?
Well, everybody, it is time to get back on the water fishing. Sable the dog helpfully tries to pull the boat up on the beach so everyone can get in safely.
Sable? What? are you doing?
Or maybe Sable is trying to break free of her leash so she can go chase cows. I prefer to think she's as dedicated as always to helping the Dodger. The fishing glass is always half full, folks. While on the water, the Dodger reminds us of why he is living the dream. He has the most beautiful office with a fantastic view.
Mike Galanis. Hello. Hey Sam, it's Mike. How are you?
Well, while Mike talks to his people, we'll take a break and learn how to emulate the tasty mayfly that has the trout in these waters flipping for joy.
When the trout are feeding on mayflies, there are several dry patterns that you can use. Our favorite is a good old standby blue wing olive. Every fly box should have these. This can be a bit of a tricky fly to tie because it's so tiny. Start off with a size 14 to 24 dry hook, tie on your thread, strip off some hackle fibers and tie them on for the tail. Next we want to tie on our wings. We like to use white synthetic material for the wings. Tie these on flat and then pinch them together, forming a post, and give it a couple wraps so it stands up. Now go back and dub the body from tail to just behind the wing with some olive dubbing. Finally attach the hackle and wrap it forward to just behind the eye of the hook. Give her a couple of wraps and knot it off. It's a top performing fly when the mayfly are out. Now let's get back in there.
Stay tuned because we reveal the secret mission Trevor Rhodes is on.
We've got to beat the Dodger. That's what it's all about. And we've noticed that our net's bigger than his, so we're bound to catch bigger fish.
And Dodger Jr. gears up for our next grand fishing adventure.
Now we just have to make sure the Dodger remembers to tighten this back up and he doesn't leave the boat in the middle of a road somewhere.
Today we've unleashed the powers of estrogen on the Bow River near McKinnon Flats. Mrs. Dodger and her buddy Paulette are flying along, getting hit after hit.
Okay, hold. We may have a bite. See if he comes back. Okay, trigger and hold. Yeah, you're snagged. Watch your eyes. There you go. Check to see you got your flies. What happened was you had a bite and he pulled you down and wrapped probably under a tree or something under there. And you see all those little shallow pockets of water there? We want to be right on the edges of those.
Whammo! We get another hit.
What happened there was you had a fish that hit you and went under the boat. And that's cool. You did the right thing. Yes. Did you see it? Unbelievable. You know what he did was he came after your strike indicator. So Scotty, Paulette had cast. Oh, what's this? Did we hook the guide? Uh-huh. What is it, Trev? 3 hooks into the guide and they're rowing? Okay, Paulette, there's a fish under that log. Why? Because that log is probably taking more flies than you can shake a stick at.
That's a funny image. Shaking a stick at a log. Anywho, the fish are hitting so hard, Scotty graciously offers to take the oars. Trevor can't wait to put his rod in these fishy waters. After all, he has a goal.
Well, we've got to beat the Dodger. That's what it's all about. And we've noticed that our net's bigger than his, so we're bound to catch bigger fish. So look out, Dodger.
Well, that challenge has the girls getting their game faces on. Mrs. Dodger even tries to hook the camera boat.
Landed in the other boat.
Aussie rules fly fishing with Philippa and Paulette.
Trevor, I think you may be in trouble. Paulette's on to yet another fish, buddy.
Oh, flip. I love this. Oh, look, my line's going for a run. Oh, look, there was a flash of water or a big flash of silver under there. Sable, did you see that?
Well, folks, sudden death overtime is up. We've come to the end of our run, and it looks like the Bow girls have won the fishing quest. Although, really, it looks like everybody had a great time.
I do think a pop is in order after this.
Good idea. Well, let's head home and see what Dodger Jr. has in store for us. After all, he's the little man with the plan when it comes to putting the boat to bed and prepping us all for our next run. 11-year-old Connor Gellinis, a.k.a. Dodger Jr., is always helping, even when he's not aboard the fishing boat.
Look at that. First attempt.
Dodger Jr. is ready to put away the boat even before his dad is in the driveway.
I am one tired, stiff Dodger. Your mom farmed so many fish today.
More than you?
Oh yeah, she was hammering fish. Okay, well, man, I need help cleaning the boat. We've got to get this boat ready for another big filming day tomorrow, so let's go through and get her done and unpack some stuff and go in and watch that Flames game.
Well, this is all part of the routine for Dodger Jr.
The first thing I need to do is pull the straps off the boat so it releases all the tension. Now we just have to make sure the Dodger remembers to tighten this back up and he doesn't leave the boat in the middle of a road somewhere.
And then it's time to unload coolers and perishables, including the aforementioned soda pop. Dodger Jr. is sure to take out his pop tax first.
Okay, one for you, stick with the pile. Just so we can get stuff ready for the trip tomorrow. That con fishing was absolutely insane today. Absolutely silly. I got it, buddy. Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Good job, bud. You got her done, man. I think you set a record.
Talk about setting records. Next week, we're searching for La Grande Poisson, the big fish, on the North Saskatchewan River.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on Fishing with the Dodger.